Exploring the power of curiosity with today's leaders. Uncloud Your Curiosity with Schellman's Chief Executive Officer, Avani Desai.
Hello, my name is Avani Desai, CEO of Schellman, and today we're joined by Kent Blackwell, Director of our pen test practice, to talk about curiosity and wonder in the threat landscape. Hey Kent, thanks for being here.
Hi, thanks Avani.
Awesome. Well, I'm really excited to talk to you. One, our pen test practice is the fastest growing practice here at Schellman, and a lot of it is thanks to you and the team. But second, I'm not sure if you knew this, so I actually started at the Big Four in the pen testing team.
Really?
So yeah, and why I'm excited to talk to you about curiosity and wonder is I felt that in that time in my career, pen testing isn't just running algorithms or, like running scripts or, looking for data. There's a lot of curiosity that goes into it. Yeah. So my first question to you is going to be, how do you feel that curiosity and wonder helps you in what you do day to day?
I mean, you're right. There is no one day of pen testing, right? Mm-hmm. Every day is going to be different because every time you're seeing a new technology, a new configuration, and you have to be curious about that stuff to really understand how to attack it. Your scripts and all that are written for your most common use cases, the stuff you see 80% of the time, 90% of the time. But that 10% you'll never get without that curiosity, without that, like, what if I push this button? Well, what if I send this input? Well, what if I try it with this payload? It's a really critical thing to the overall pen test process to be able to think through how is the system set up, what are the different inputs the system's going to take, and then how can I break that, right? And without that curiosity, you'll just be left with a system that you can't break.
So one thing that we talked about in the last session was with Ryan Buckner. And I said, one thing that curiosity helps with is making sure we don't become obsolete. Mm-hmm. When I take a look at pen testing, that landscape is changing every day, every minute, right?
Just did, right
now.
Yeah,
right now, right? And so you have to be ahead of it, right? And so what do you do with your team to make sure that they stay curious and they continue to wonder? Because don't you feel like if they didn't do that, you're going to be behind the curve from
Absolutely.
A technology perspective? Are there things that you do as a team to make sure that people have the pulse of what's going on?
Yeah, it's one of the first questions we ask during interviews is where do you get your information? Because we realize that if you're not staying up to date with the latest attacks, the latest vulnerabilities, all that, you won't be as good of a hacker, you won't be as good of a pen tester if you don't have that constant new information source of good information sources. Not maybe just your weekly newsletter or something like that. We encourage curiosity kind of across the board. We encourage our team to use things like Twitter during a work hour to go research a problem, right? That's some of the best information we can get is from social media, from other InfoSec researchers sharing their ideas and things they've been working on. We also do internal team knowledge shares because we have a really diverse team with different skill sets and things like that between hardware and web apps and network and things like that. And so it helps to keep the curiosity level up about what all the other teams are doing with their pen tests by doing these knowledge shares of, hey, well, we did this, we found this vulnerability, we found it this way. And that way, maybe somebody who hasn't been doing web apps all month like this other person has, they can still get that knowledge, they can still kind of, glean the results of their curiosity.
Yeah. So one thing that you guys do that's very unique in any of our service lines is in the recruiting process. So before someone can even come into the recruiting process, you have a capture the flag exercise. And when I take a look at capture the flag exercise, I see curiosity all over it, right? Yeah. So can you talk me through, because I think you and your team actually build it and you update it. Can you talk me through how you do that?
Yeah, so we do it once a year. Our CTF lab is completely built, like you said, by the team. All the challenges are designed to mimic vulnerabilities we've seen in real systems, vulnerabilities that we have exploited ourselves in client environments, and then we build challenges around that. We do it once a year. We do it over our 2-week Christmas break. We let everyone kind of go build a challenge, throw it in our Slack channel. And then we will all, this week actually, right now, we're all going through trying different challenges here at the end of the week on our Friday information share. We'll discuss them, vote on them, see which one's the best. We'll rotate them in and out of the CTF. So yeah, it really is. It's a yearly refresh. There's yearly new challenges in there because you're right. The technology landscape changes so quickly. The vulnerability we might have built 3 years ago might not even be a real problem anymore. There's no real reason to test people if they can do it.
Do you feel that curiosity because you only have 24 hours, right, to do it. Do you feel that curiosity is a skill set that you need to kind of get through that entire challenge?
It really is. And honestly, we have this term called paper pen testers. And it really, I think curiosity is for me, the biggest differentiator between a paper pen tester, somebody who has the technical knowledge, right? They can run the scripts, they can do a Nessus scan, they can run Metasploit, they can do the job. But there's no curiosity. They don't ask why. They don't ask why does the system react this way. They don't ask why does this tool work? Why did this tool not work? And it really, being able to ask why is such a critical component of, I mean, honestly, pen testing in any technology field, but pen testing especially, because you have to be asking the questions that the software developers didn't ask themselves. You have to be asking the questions that the hardware folks didn't ask themselves.
So I'm going to pivot a little bit from curiosity to failure. So one other thing that I think is, once you go down that curiosity rabbit hole, you're going to have to not get things right? You're going to have to fail. And that's really kind of pen testing, right? You don't have a pen tester who goes in and knows everything, knows how to break the system day one, right? You have to try new things, and you have to, sometimes you fail. So can you maybe just walk me through like a process of, a pen tester going into an app, and what does it look like? What are they doing with hands on keyboard? And if you just walk me through that.
Totally. So for a web app, when we typically start doing a web app, we'll do a manual walkthrough first before we do any actual pen testing, right? We want to understand how the application works, because so many vulnerabilities, we call them business logic vulnerabilities. We don't, OS calls them business logic vulnerabilities. But so many of those vulnerabilities, you have to understand how the application works, what it's trying to do, what it's trying to stop users from doing, and things like that. So that's how it starts. You walk through the application, you push all the buttons, you click all the pages, you click all the links, you find out what everything does. From there, then you can start attacking stuff. Now you feel, okay, great, there's all these form fields over here that take input, so I can put some stuff in there. And that's where the failure starts. Because honestly, most clients, most web applications have some semblance or level of defense built in to stuff, to cross-site scripting, things like that, from an input sanitization perspective. So most of the pen test is failing. Like, we spend 99% of the pen test failing until we finally, break the defense, and there's our 1%, and there's the finding for that thing. So it really is, it's fail, 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 got it.
Yeah, resilience, that's how you build it.
Absolutely,
right?
you have to be okay with failing, and you have to be able to learn from that failure.
Yeah, I gotta teach my kids that. That's a good lesson.
I should teach myself that better too. I think it's a constant improvement.
Yeah, all right, so while we wrap this up, if you could say there are certain characteristics that you're looking for, in a pen tester, and of course there's some table stakes, technical capability, and I'm going to say curiosity and wonder. What's something else that people may not think of?
The curiosity thing is a big thing. I think you have to want to do it.
Yeah.
Pen testing is one of those things that there are colleges out there that are starting to do, cybersecurity, specifically type hacking course, but it's not much, and there's not many. So most pen testers are self-taught, which means they have to have that self-drive to go do the search themselves, go build the home lab at their home and do their own testing, work on their own skills and the hack the box things. So really, it's your own personal skills. And so if you don't want to do pen testing, you just want to do it for, because you hear it pays well or something like that, you're not going to like it, because it is fail, 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 win.
Yeah, so that's great. So wonder and curiosity is probably the baseline, right?
Absolutely.
Especially for what you do. Well, thanks, Kent. It was so great talking to you, and thanks for helping me think through, how technical services need to have that wonder and curiosity to be successful.
Cool, thanks for having me, Avani.
Yeah, thanks, Kent, for joining us. Join us on the next session, where we'll have Schellman's Chief Product and Technology Officer, Rupa Suhendra, who will talk about the intersection of curiosity and wonder with agile development.